Okay, thank you for joining us today. We have from Bexel Consulting, we have Mileta, Senior BIM Manager. We also have Senior Manager of Schedule Integration from Clayco, Stephen Hollstein. And I will pass it over to them now so that they can get started on construction innovation through technology partnerships. Mileta.
Thank you very much. Thanks for introduction and good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to present you our collaboration and how we work together. My name is Mileta Pejovic, and I'm an architect working as a senior BIM manager at Bexel Consulting.
Thank you, everyone. Really looking forward to presenting today. My name is Stephen Hollstein. I'm a civil engineer. My title is Senior Manager of Schedule Integration with Clayco, and I really want to speak to our positive influence and collaboration with the Bexel partnership here by Clayco. Okay, so Clayco, we've been a general contractor now. Our founder, Bob Clark, been established since 1984. Coming up on our 40-year mark here. We are growing very quickly. We really started out as a design build, tilt-up wall type contractor, and have many divisions now in the company, everything from real estate to our own interior design and architectural design firm, LJC, to our own self-performing concrete division. We pride ourselves on a very good safety record. Multiple design build awards, have amassed greater than 3,000 employees, and just back in 2022, over 5 billion in revenue. We work a lot in data centers, multi-story commercial buildings, residential, institutional work, industrial, mission critical. So really get into a lot of markets all across the greater United States.
So Bexel Consulting is software development and consulting company. We are specialized for BIM in construction, and with nearly 2 decades of experience, we have become pioneers in BIM implementation, collaboration, management, and software development, of course. And over the years, we have undertaken a diverse array of projects, varying in type and size, as you may see. And as demonstrated on this slide, our portfolio showcases our expertise and projects that we have successfully delivered. In the past 9 months alone, we almost doubled number of our clients compared to the previous year, and this reflects our dedication to driving success. Our client base includes designers, project managers, contractors, and large-scale project owners who trust our expertise and rely on our consulting services. They are using not just our services, but also our innovative BIM platform, Bexel Manager, to improve their efficiency.
So what we learned with this presentation, right? So, our vision, there's a great motto our founder really believes in, and that's, building beyond these walls. We're not delivering just a product to the customer or trying to get in budget or schedule, but really giving them the best product that their money can buy, and really handing over, product that we would want to be living in or being the facilitator of. And when that comes, right, we, as Mileta mentioned as well, pioneers, right? We really are bringing in digital platforms, other technologies to really bring in and facilitate and greater efficiency here. And that strategy alignment with the business model, everything from an RFP to project execution and turnover, we're really bringing that integrated delivery model. And that means data, right? 3D modeling, right, is getting into then how do we bring in data and really enhance that and align with the data and enrich that data for our use, for managing it, for communicating it, and coordination. So the role of data in the project lifecycle, you'll learn that within the 4D and 5D environment Bexel Manager is offering here and bringing that in with Clayco. And the partnerships, right? We don't treat Bexel as a consulting agency. They're a partner with us. And all of our projects together, we really align and really feed off one another, that, the benefits of one another. And, from there, that is in that technology roadmap, that, the beta phases and bringing in new versions. They're really leaning on Clayco and other clients to offer, how do we best bring better versions and enhance our abilities with various clients. And, the collaboration step, I've really focused here that at Clayco with my schedule integration team that, we have to collaborate. We would need to be front and center within our field teams, and we really go to the finish line together and bring that structure, proper workflows, and adopting that. And along the way, right, we are still challenged. We are every day facing challenges within their various work sectors, different projects and milestone completion dates, and we were looking at bringing success there. Okay, so the compass is north, right? We're really looking at a strategy of always appearing and going north here, and that's in our perspective, right? Utilizing the data that's in the 3D model environment when it comes to property information, classification of elements, and various roles within that classification of the structure within the model, and utilizing that, integrating that with schedules, estimates, and bringing that schedule management and cost management effectively. And we're able to do that from the inception of a job to actually through the build out phase of it. And that really gives our perspective, going over and succeeding from previous inefficiencies that we've encountered, and so much documentation and not utilizing fundamental information, working with estimators where everything is still in 2D and drawing information, and being able to use the Bexel platform and provide a quantity takeoff in, just quick time, 5 to 10 minutes of doing an MEP QTO I just performed. And Mileta will share as well about going beyond pretty BIM.
Yeah, so from business perspective, we have experience from both sides, from designers and from client sides. And currently we are focusing to assist our clients in optimizing projects and project implementation and improving collaboration. And it's very important to use and improve available data throughout all project stages, since the basis of BIM is 3D and the core of VDC are information. So it's crucial to use information even from the pre-construction phase to identify and mitigate the risks. And then during the planning to implement location-based planning if it's possible, and optimize construction processes itself. And finally, to use collected data during construction process for more accurate facility maintenance. And when we talk about technology and technology in construction, we're currently living in a digital world, and there are so many options to choose from and so many options to collaborate or integrate with. And we consider ourselves as a pioneers, as I mentioned previously, and visionary company in terms of ideas and approach to BIM in construction. And in that sense, I believe that we are very in line and in good fit with the Clayco company that have the same mindset and who share the same passion and approach to this, let's say, digitalization process.
So this is sort of an acronym here within our business model as well, and that's the SMART. And a strategy is really based on this integrated environment. We've really tried to get away from a siloed approach of different departments, different divisions. If you ever look at our St. Louis office, you'll see it's a very open office environment. And I will say, COVID definitely challenged this type of environment and getting us away from an integral part. Everyone playing a critical role in the success of a job. I'm a big believer in construction projects. You win and fail as a team. And we really want to be able to bring that adoption, and that those stakeholders to really buy into the concept of we want to succeed. We want to bring, value, quality in our work and enhancement. That's where really Bexel comes in, is the visualization and bringing that integration together. My background is a lot in the project control side. I have a lot of experience working in project scheduling, earned value, cost management. This really is one of the greatest platforms I've encountered yet in my 15-year career that really hits the mark with those metrics that you really need from a successful project delivery of earned value, and looking at your performance indices with schedule and cost. And that's where the measurement comes in, right? Is, going through your mistakes, historical data, and really focusing on what was successful, what was not successful in past projects. The amount of effort that goes into it, and being more streamlined there. And, aligning, that really goes back into the integration part of it. Process and technology, the organization being vertically integrated together with all phases and all levels of the company. People are your greatest asset here at Clayco. That's what really, bring out in success.
Yeah, so as Noel Latins used to say, repetition is the mother of learning. So as consultants, we have extensive experience, and we encounter different situations and different, let's say, challenges in hundreds of times on different projects. And now we aim to spare our clients and our partners from learning through the trial and error. We try to navigate them through our mistakes instead of repeating the same mistakes on new projects. And we are committed to share our experience and our knowledge. And this involves constant guiding of our partners through the adoption of the best practices by offering quality control, by providing different types of rule checks, guidance, templates, configuration documents, BIM documents, execution plans, and much more. And when it comes to time, the important thing is to plan and execute at pace of business. So the perfect example how to use new software and new approaches to process in construction, where all companies could benefit. And in this case of construction company, to perform even faster and more accurate than that would be possible using traditional approach, for example. And this could even lead to the companies that use the extra time for exploring various construction approach at the end to pursue even more projects instead of spending that time to calculate and analyze various situations that could happen without necessary help of digitalization. And we at Bexel Consulting are not just a common vendor that just provide their clients with or customers with a software or education and then leave them to do their job. We do provide all these services, but we are also always prepared to actively engage with our partners, meaning that sometimes we need to actively assist or provide and develop specific tools and features that will serve their specific needs. And at the core of Bexel Technologies' project management approach, centered on BIM, where all processes are integrated, both in terms of workflows and information sources. And this implies that all project data resides in one place, transparent, traceable, and that can be easily verified. And however, a prerequisite for achieving this in the standardization is standardization of the data and data exchange protocols as well. And foundational step that enables us to develop all these tools is automation, and automation of all these processes, including, let's say, possibilities to using our platform to add automated data checks, data enrichments, cost estimation, smart scheduling, or even BIM-based facility maintenance processes. So this video here showcases the workflows and functionalities of Bexel Manager platform and illustrates how these features seamlessly integrate within a cloud-based reporting environment. As you may see, a range of use cases. What truly stands out is the simplicity of conducting all these BIM analysis and the freedom to exchange and share results. And this aspect significantly enhances and improves workflows and increases efficiency and collaboration between different stakeholders. And these presented, let's say, projects and the dashboards that I will show you just in a second are typically customized to meet specific clients' requirements for real projects. And these are all real projects from a real, let's say, challenges came as an outcomes of a real challenges and real results, which are suited for our clients and finally to the investors as well. And I will just highlight some of the key performances, such as different types of outcomes, results, and reports that can be generated almost automatically with the tool, with our tool, and using different types of results. Also, another vital aspects of project key indicators is, for example, earned value analysis, which is really important to the clients, and general contractors, which they usually want to know. And all these results can be generated for any project in any project stage. And these results are come from the integration of the data and geometry. And all these results can be automatically exported directly from the platform using automated approach.
And one thing I'd like to add to what Mileta just shared, I think many in the group may also have a perception out there that, 4D and some of these visualizations is just a pretty picture. But what I really stress to clients and even our construction field teams is that, we're really harnessing what the BIM model is providing us and validating our planned schedule, utilizing quantities, properties in the model and showing that and how long, say a schedule may take, how long the budget may show a cash flow, and how much money we plan to spend on a monthly basis, the duration of the project. So there's a lot more than just a picture of what we're presenting in our proposals or even in the field coordination. Even in field coordination side, there's a lot of logistics and strategy planning that goes in from staging and material to installing improper work zones, having a true line of balance and leveling resources to effectively manage productivity. So there's quite a bit there, and the pretty picture is really just missing the mark in what we're gathering. So here's a bit of a project life cycle just to display for you all within the integrated delivery cycle. And like I showed here, I'm really hitting on schedule very early on in the early design phase, pre-con, and in through construction. And as we go into the phases of our execution, we expand. We're gathering more information. There's more maturity with model and data information, and we're really embracing that. We're harnessing that information. And what is that doing? That's allowing better management, better supervision in the field, better quality, better safety numbers, just better facilitation in the field. And it comes down to communication in the very end, right? And we're able to communicate and better integrate within the overall teams from every handoff point that goes through. We're a very design build focused company here at Clayco, so it necessitates the urgency of very early on having a good setup and communication and integration there, and seamless. Bexel really provides that for us. We can get that information and understand, oh, where's the model really stand? Where's the schedule stand? And where's the estimate? Are they integrated? If not, we need to really work on that and collaborate to better align on all those entities for the project phase.
Yes, so the essence of BIM is about capturing construction knowledge and leveraging it at every phase of a project, progressively adding additional layers of information and preserving it for the all upcoming stages and further stakeholders that can benefit from the previously collected data. In other words, BIM serves as some kind of dynamic repository of construction insights that not only grows as the project advances, but also endures as a valuable resources for the future. And this just helps us to, let's say, collaboratively and collectively use all this wisdom of previous stages and access it. So this could be effectively applied and used and integrated for overall project success and also for the next projects, for the upcoming future projects.
So here's Clayco's multidimensional project delivery cycle, and there's one thing I really want to say I'm stressing to in my organization, in that, it's maybe a funny comment to make, but, you can't skip dimensions of work in order. We've been so focused on 2D dimension drawings, right? And, I've heard us stepping through these dimensions of then going to 3D, 4D, 5D, and even going beyond that. But I'm slowly trying to say, hey, we need to really manage and succeed with each of these dimensions before proceeding on, right? And let's start look at, the VDC team here at Clayco and a big emphasis of their work and what they're really required to review is this BIM coordination step, very necessary step in the game. and bringing in. Again, garbage in, garbage out, right? If not good quality information exists, you're not bringing that over then into a Bexel platform to then integrate. Again, keep in mind that, what we're really emphasizing anymore is this, breaking down silos. Your information in the model is going to be reviewed and needed for other various team members, whether it be in the scheduling, whether it be superintendents in the field, estimators, even safety reviewers. So your information really is needing to be, communicated, and really to cross interdivisions within the companies. So, and through that coordination, we're eliminating waste. We're insightful in what we're gathering on information data. Again, going back to fabrication models, dimensions and information there that's necessary. Those dimensions are critical, especially when installing and having, tight fit outs that may happen on a project and tight tolerances. So a necessary step. And then going in as Bexel manager is an automated scheduling process through the BIM coordination. Clayco is still kind of on that Primavera P6 side, and having then the schedule methodology built out outside of Bexel, and then to be brought in, which effectively means that you're communicating, you're tracking those tolerances in the field, mobilizing. When is it necessary to mobilize based on all the material I need of installing with a certain workflow and path? So coordinating between BIM and schedule there. And then the cost side, right? One thing I'm really adopting here at Clayco is the uniform master format classification step. We need a centralized dimension there of saying, how can I best integrate model elements with my overall schedule and quantify that and align that information on my cash flow, on my life cycle of the job. So estimating and progress payments that go with that, and applying that, validating earned progress in the field based on those pay apps that we receive from subcontractors. Something that we're getting into is like what Mileta mentioned is, the handover of these packages for facility maintenance to clients, warranty information, when information is installed and what that warranty looks like based on hours of production, and showing that and maintaining it. Operations, turnarounds and, replacements of major equipment areas of the job. So a lot that can be gathered here from the Bexel platform is intrinsic to a lot of its success here at Clayco. So the technology journey, right? So, I've been out of school now, since 2007. And I've seen some leaps and bounds here within technology. I still would have to admit we're sort of behind the curve when it comes to digital platforms and other technologies, but we're really stepping into the right growth there. I see a lot of young interest now, and others like-minded as myself gaining popularity within these platforms such as Bexel and others out there. So, the past has been siloed approach, right? And I'm a believer in siloing. You don't necessarily get the highest level of productivity out there, and you're losing communication together. Redundancy, duplicating work and wasted time, right? And in the present, and I'm gonna let to share more. We're still facing these challenges, right? Companies slow to evolve, slow to mature, getting into these digital platforms. Hey, I hear the phrase always made, I've done this for 25, 30 plus years. Why change now? We need to grow. We need to grow as an industry, and I'm seeing success along the way here.
Yeah, so from our perspective as a software development company, our goal in present is to help our clients and users to integrate all workflows together. And one of the important aspects of streamlining all the processes and workflows is standardization. And we can't emphasize it more. And we're trying in collaboration and in collaborative effort of BIM implementation to set standards for specific work scopes and specific construction trades, whenever it's possible. And by doing that, we'll definitely improve and automate some processes when it's possible. But what is more important, we'll try to set the new level of transparency and information exchange. Interestingly, in this process of information exchange and sharing knowledge within construction industry is something very, very challenging and difficult. I'm not really sure why, in contrast with, for example, IT industry, where the significance of knowledge and sharing is widely acknowledged and accepted. And in the future, we envision that all information are accessible, available, and visible to everyone, anywhere and at any time.
So, how do we work together as both companies, and really, have a great handshake along the way, right? And that's, unifying our teams together. Again, I really like, Mileta is out of Europe, I'm in the United States, but we always really work, flexibly as best we can, to get our times right and to meet and work with other project teams. It's always great to see other teams working with the Bexel manager platform and Mileta and his colleagues there. And we share joint meetings. We work together, ask those questions, have project managers listen in and allow them to ask questions. And we provide feedback in those objectives, for the project. We always set what are our expectations for the meeting, what are our expectations for this project. Working on these dashboards together with Mileta has been a lot of, expectations because we're dealing with customized dashboards based on various client requirements. So it's a lot of just listening and understanding those expectations. And then, building that workflow together, building the trust. I also came from the client side, and I really stress transparency. We're not hiding anything here. We really want to share that knowledge and share the info for our clients, because at the end of the job, right, we want to share that knowledge with them and the information, and rather just be open and honest, right from the start. And it really forms that bonded relationship together. And as Mileta mentioned, adopting these standards, these template formats, standardized approach just streamlines our workflows, hands down. I mean, very manual process that then becomes automated as we grow together in our workflow.
Yeah, so I will just start with an examples, and this is a real project example, very interesting and innovative data center project located in Cheyenne. This was actually the first project where we and Clayco worked together. And of course, as always, the new beginnings are challenging and difficult, but we still provided support to our partner to produce requested outcomes on time. And I believe even though at the moment we didn't implement BIM fully and we didn't use all possibilities up to their full potential, we still managed to evaluate available construction plan to improve it and to optimize it even more. So I will try to play the video now. Yeah, the video is just one of the desired outcomes. It shows construction simulation where all elements are colored differently. And in this case, each color represents 5 different levels of risks for activities. My colleague from Clayco Critica, she's a VDC manager, and she was working on this project, used to play this video during the safety meetings to help subcontractors to know which activities or which areas they should focus on. And this later on, I will show you the second part of the video, which shows normal for the construction simulation, not colored from the risks, but also colored from the different activities.
One thing I'd like to add, Mileta, as well to this was this really brought up a new concept for our safety team, because what it allowed our subcontractors to do is establish what are those safety risk activities when looking at look-ahead planning, but then to properly mitigate, whether it be reinforcing safety measures, enhancing those measures in the field, double checking, verifying your job hazard analyses, and et cetera. So great working ability there.
Yeah, so in this case, in this part of the video, we're focusing to fit out activities. And again, this video was frequently updated and was played during the weekly meetings to help subcontractors to focus to different areas, and also as additional help for managing resources for the upcoming tasks. And during our work on creating and updating this construction simulation, we identified a lot of missing activities, for example, in the schedule, because the initial schedule was created in P6, and it was relatively easy to do it just by comparing anticipated tasks from P6 and available 3D model elements. We noticed a significant amount of model elements that are not linked to any task. And if you understand that each element actually represents some asset or activity related to it, then you can imagine how important this information could be, especially in early or pre-construction stages. Also, another important aspect related to 4D simulation is enabling line of balance that our platform does natively. So we could identify if multiple activities are overlapping in the same areas at the same time. And by pointing out some of these noted inconsistencies, we're not helping just planners to adjust and improve the schedule, but also we're saving time and money for all possible issues that could happen on the site where these, let's say, issues could be identified later on. And beside this, Clayco also created a lesson learned. I believe that maybe Stephen could explain a little bit more on that. So they already know what to expect on similar projects in the future.
Yes, so thank you, Mileta. Yeah, so we gather lessons learned on these projects, team, and I really want to emphasize too that when we're going into Bexel Manager's environment, we're actually making designers and planners, we're making them better at their jobs. They're able to see information that when putting together a schedule or even a design model, you may not necessarily have all the information available. You may be going off an old schedule or an old model that may have some complexity or added scope or removed scope. And there is a level of critiquing that Mileta and I do work with assessing these projects, but it comes from a cost and schedule savings that we're really observing with these projects and implementing Bexel Manager. Here is one of my first projects working with Mileta and team on, and this was a high-rise in downtown Phoenix. This was a unique request that the subcontractors wanted to see. For all new subcontractors on board at the job, they wanted to see a by level animation of a typical build out, everything from civil structural works to MEP FP works, and showing the workflow, which column line was say an electrician versus an overhead guy working into the ceiling. So it really demonstrated the unique capabilities of staging those plans, staging material effectively, quality and safety going on with the installation process. Again, all served by quality in the model, quality in the project schedule. And as Mileta said, lessons learned, and it keeps coming up with each job, and that we're really tracking these is unidentified scope, elements that are spanning multiple building levels that we don't necessarily construct multiple levels at a time, when making pours or making installations, other than maybe say plumbing risers or duct risers or so forth. And we're identifying that missing scope, and it's allowing our field teams to capture it, get ahead of the RFI process, get ahead of change orders, bringing better value to the client. That's really what this is about here. So, but this was a great step that we did. We also did a delay analysis, as you'll see up top there on the far right, showing here's what was planned elements to be installed to this date. Here's what was executed on time. Here's elements that are delayed that we really need to make up. We could then also color in critical path activities that need to get done or were impacting our end date of the overall job. So multiple applications there that we use for that job. So challenges, right? I don't want to say that we're all there yet across the board. I think there's a vision at Clayco to having, 80 to 90% of our projects utilizing the Bexel Manager platform, but we know that's not always the case, and especially with quite intense accelerated timelines that we're on as well. So, the old phrase, old habits die hard. We all are aware of that phrase. It's true. I think I'll see that the rest of my career in the industry. We're tackling it day by day, and slowly getting those champions and wins with our evidence-based case studies on these projects. The resource allocation and budgeting. I mean, the line of balance is a really unique application, utilizing the models and which work zones they're in, and looking at density studies. I often hear clients say, "Give me resource curves." Well, on top of that, why don't you look at density studies and look at your overall resources and plan those out to verify your head counts, but also being productive, right? Not just looking at where's my peak manpower, but at that time of the job, can we handle that amount of people for the square building footprint? Lack of integration. We're still there. Classification standards and standardizing, looking at our BIM execution plans. We're slowly but steadily getting there. Earned value management setup. I took a look at a project with Mileta where on the estimate side, we were not there from an earned value, truly breaking up quantities, man hours by CSI master format. We were not there. We as a company really need to get there. and getting into the earned value side. Many clients going in the industrial sector are requiring this, unlike so much on the commercial side. Accountability for project teams and updating the 4D. I'm realizing now that our VDC department is stretched pretty thin, and I'm working on building out a team right now to really, make use of this in their daily routine and to work with the planners and the VDC managers. Here's a really big step that I really echo, and that I'm seeing clients still holding on to 3D models, those DWG files, those other files that are not true BIM models. They're lacking the data that we really need, and we need to kind of move away from that. We can't take information from a generic element family and then populate all these properties, all this necessary information to do quantity takeoffs from, to do schedules from, to do earned value from. We've got to get away from where we've been in the design aspects and getting into data and capturing that. And as I said here, native files not being compatible there. We still see that Navisworks is kind of a workaround on it, but then again, Navis has its limitations as well with bringing in data into Bexel.
Okay, now I would like to, on an example of many common challenges that construction industry is facing, I will explain on, let's say, the planning process. So traditional planning methods very often lack of standardization of, for example, scheduled WBS structure that can lead to confusion or inefficiencies. And BIM allows us creation of standardized and consistent WBS structures, ensuring that tasks and components are categorized and organized uniformly in a way across the project. And this simplifies schedule integration and facilitates cross-project analysis. Also, another aspect is, for example, lack of standardized naming. Traditional planning often relies on arbitrary naming conventions, making it difficult to relate activities to specific zones, phases, or cost categories. Also, when it comes to multiple planners do the same thing or do the different things on the same schedule, we have, as a result, misinterpretation or inconsistencies in planning documents. For example, a very simple thing as name of the building or story can be used in many ways. Somewhere it could be named, for example, as a level. Somewhere in a schedule, it could be called story. Somewhere level could be just an abbreviation used, such as L01, L02, and sometimes it could be L1, L2. So this all causes different, let's say, challenges. And on the other hand, if planning process is BIM-based, all tasks and zones will be derived from standardized naming conventions previously adopted, and for project zones, phases, and activities extracted from properties of 3D elements, for example. And if these basic components are structured in a meaningful way, all stakeholders could very easily understand and compare and manage this planning information. Also, lack of standardized reference of scheduled tasks to cost classification is very important. And also in traditional planning, often planning process is independent from quantity and cost estimating process. And beside that, even in more cases, there's no standardized way to align planned tasks with cost classification. And this all leads to inability for, let's say, project manager to use cost and quantity and resource in relation with the respective activities and scheduled tasks. So during the construction and tracking progress process, it becomes even more challenging to control activities and budget, and also assign resources to respective activities. So these are just some of the common challenges when we talk about planning process. So we also understand that achieving comprehensive BIM implementation across all project departments could be very complex, gradual, and very slow process, for example. And transition phase of BIM implementation is very challenges, and engineers that are involved in the process usually strive to leverage available BIM data, while at the same time they're trying to use traditional workflows. This could be caused by maybe tight project deadlines or need to develop proficiency with new software or new tools. But in any case, we're trying to optimize and simplify all these transition processes and to facilitate a smoother integration of BIM practices. In the later stages of this example, I will explain how this process could be, let's say, in a way adopted, and how transition between traditional and BIM-based planning could be utilized following a few steps. First one is, for example, for the planners in P6 could be at least put small amount of extra effort to create custom user-defined properties that could later be used for automation of process linking, schedule, and 3D model elements. Also, this could be adding additional textual properties such as zone levels or zone level 1, 2, which represent us different zones or areas of your activities, and also additional maybe textual properties that will define activity hierarchy level, or which can be used to link a specific task or activity with respective cost items. All these things, small additional efforts, could be very valuable in the later stages when we're linking all these things together. So this is how the process works in reality on an example, when planners still utilizing traditional approach through P6 add additional codes based on CSI or master format. Respective tasks are in a way enriched with these custom properties, and also if they use common or standardized naming convention for at least buildings or levels or areas, then most of these information can be used to auto-link that P6 schedule with model elements and generate 4D construction simulation. So I will try to show you on a video. Using our platform, 3D models are systematically structured based on buildings, levels, and areas using common IFC properties. These are always coming into platform from available information from authoring tool. In the video, we can see imported tasks then in the schedule on the left side of this window, and on the right side, we can see 3D model elements and connect these elements with tasks. Initially, connection is done automatically using common model groups such as buildings or levels or areas, but our system also using elements connection with hierarchy levels and filter these hierarchy levels through lower hierarchy levels of the schedule, making possible to actually create as least possible model element groups, and they can still be accurately connected and presented in construction simulation. And finally, on the lowest tasks of activities, we're linking tasks model element with grouped of elements from 3D organized according to adopted classification system. In this case, it was CSI master format. And this was just a short example to understand how quickly in specific situation we can generate construction simulation, in this case, just for structural works, when everything is set up properly with additional effort from, let's say, traditional approach in P6 and automation, which comes from our platform.
And the great ability here, team, just to let you all aware as well, is, schedules continue to get updated. Models can be updated as well on different stages. The idea behind mapping, the way Mileta is sharing, is that if those remain the same and not touched, names and other information can be, revised and so forth. But if the mapping isn't touched like this, for every time an update comes in, you will be able to then produce an animation very quickly and not have to provide any changes or anything that is missed. We've encountered in our experience that when going by name mapping or information that can be changed, the Bexel platform may not recognize that based on a new schedule import or model import. So it's important that we're classifying on, on IDs or information that we know remains unchanged throughout the project life.
Exactly. And these are some of the outcomes or results of BIM-based scheduling process, or in this case, process of linking 3D model and imported schedule. So we have many advantages for project with repetitive or linear processes. Some of the benefits include visual representation of these activities in form of line of balance, where and when these activities will be executed. Another one is ability to easily optimize efficiency in such scenarios. With the ability to see the work distribution over time, project manager or project managers can easily allocate resources and effectively make sure that labor, equipment, and materials are optimally used. Also, progress monitoring becomes more precise and much easier using this line of balance, and VDC managers can identify discrepancies between planned and actual works. And finally, engineers, architects, and contractors and subcontractors as well can work together with more efficiently by using this visualization and project timeline to design and share their information in digital environment.
Just to add real quick as well on some of these
Yes.
reports that Mileta is sharing, there's a lot of enhancement that the line of balance is offering. And with these reports as well, we can give monthly, evidence of cost information based on its allocation to schedule activities. We can go by different trades and different resources on that for histogram curve information. And again, ultimately, we can get progress information. We can feed that into the Bexel Manager progress, print out a report. Here's the actual evidence of earned information by model quantities of what's being installed, and verify that based on what was paid out or what is planned to pay for accruing based on what we forecasted in the budget.
Exactly, and these are just some of the benefits that you can achieve with this, in a way, integrated approach using partially traditional way and partially automation from the system. Imagine how the results could be achieved and how easily these and how fast you could achieve similar results if everything was standardized from the beginning and based on BIM entirely.
So, as I said earlier, we're always moving forward. These are other technologies that we offer here at Clayco, more from the scanning side, drone flights, struction side is popular. We're using a lot of ACC build now and BIM 360, which both Mileta and I also use for our projects. And, we're really trying to integrate and become one organization within digital to bring that to subcontractors and clients. And common data environment is one also that we're also getting into with Bexel, which is more of a cloud application for others to visualize and understand their projects and kind of monitor that along with us. So real quickly, where are we headed, right? Standardization is a big piece of this within my team right now, and bringing together this schedule integration, and it's bringing the speed to market. It's optimizing schedules. It's enhancing our ability to provide those project turnarounds for clients that need production at a certain contractual milestone date. And we're versatile. We're meeting those needs of tomorrow. We're able to be flexible and utilize digital utilization with this, and the gamification that goes with it. I mean, this is very cool stuff in the world right now that BIM and schedules are really being offered to. So, we need to embrace this.
Definitely, as Stephen mentioned, we need to make a site team also to be, let's say, comfortable with the model. And also, we know that what COVID did to all of us, to construction industry, and how we managed to successfully transfer from, let's say, on-site to the offices and transfer collaboration process to an online and remote collaboration using different cloud-based environments. So we can create, for advanced simulation, we can create more than just simple 4D and include all available data domains and information generated in pre-construction phases, but to add additional layers of information during construction progress. And we also have possibility to analyze various aspects of projects: cost, quantities, resources, specific asset information, for example, pressure or flow for mechanical pipes, or evaluate fire rating or specific areas to analyze, for example, crowd simulation and similar, all this from the same source of information. The next one is, for example, IoT integration and real-time data, where we're heading towards the environment. We using real-time data from the sensors, and it's a common process. In the future, for example, information from the site, from, let's say, concrete curing, or an example could be a European research project that we were involved, Asset for Rails, where we tested possibility of sensor data integration with BIM for tunnel asset management and checking the quality of changes of tunnels or bridges, and capitalization or productivity when all the data from different projects come together in a cloud environment. And if we had enough accurate information, then we should be able to process it and create, in a way, predictive analysis for the future projects. So from the standpoint of the software development company, we're aligning ourselves with technological advancements. We're exploring possibilities of incorporating AI to evaluate design, to evaluate schedule process more efficiently, and through the implementation of standardization and standardizing the things within the implementation, we are trying to automate processes such as model data enrichment, cost estimation, to achieve higher levels of accuracy and to be more efficient. Our future endeavors are aimed to seamless integration with different data sources, regardless where these sources are, Internet of Things or extensive cloud data repositories. Everything is, in a way, approachable and tangible to us. And also, the ultimate goal is to provide project managers and owners with a comprehensive interactive experience, making them to, in a way, feel like commanders in a command center of the future.
And just to close on my side as well, we've really successfully brought in Bexel Manager here for our projects and utilize this. We offer this to clients, and it's been very receptive. They've really liked to see the data that it collects, the information that we can coordinate and manage to, and even subcontractors and the field side, they're really gaining traction right now in utilizing reports and animations, and it speaks to a lot. It better communicates our overall project and facilities, and going into the, now that in 2023, I see a bright future here, and using Bexel Manager within Clayco, and also just bringing this into our company and for key executives and leaders to really start seeing a mindset in how do we track data and manage with utilizing BIM in the best approach. So thanks for everyone who can listen in.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Mileta. That was a very exciting presentation. It's also always very refreshing to see the contractors take the lead when it comes to innovation as well. We do not see any questions come in through the chat window, but I do see Corinne's hand up. So I'm going to unmute Corinne just in case Corinne would like to say something or ask a question. And if anybody else would like to say something, you can also go ahead and raise your hand. I can unmute you.
That was my fault. I didn't mean to raise my hand.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so this webinar was recorded and it will be made available on the Building Smart USA website. We will also, share with everybody on our mailing list. If you're not on the mailing list, make sure you subscribe. So thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Mileta. Thank you, everybody, for today.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.